Stuart Nash.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. As you have heard, Labor opposes this bill, but Mr Speaker, let me outline the reasons why I'm not a big fan of this bill at all. And the main reason is that New Zealand has developed what I believe is an enviable global reputation for quality, for standards, and it's what we go out to the world with. And we actually saw what happened when New Zealand's reputation was tarnished and the potential impact it had, where there was an issue with Fonterra. We heard that there might have been contamination, and in fact at that point in time, if you'd read the media, you could have believed that in China at least, that the CEO of Fonterra was actually more important or more powerful than the Prime Minister of New Zealand. The Prime Minister of New Zealand went over there, tried to allay the fears that New Zealand has good quality standards, that we're doing what we need to do well, that we hold ourselves up to global benchmarks. The CEO of Fonterra went over there and he actually was responsible for putting out the fires, which could have cost this country literally billions of dollars. Now, this is why I say that the way we implement standards in this country, or our standards regime, is absolutely vital to maintaining our global competitive advantage around clean, green, 100% pure. And what I would say, Mr Speaker, is that when this is all about perception, and when you have a standards authority which is not perceived to be independent, we run the risk of tarnishing that reputation, because overseas investors or overseas markets will look at our country and go, goodness me, we cannot necessarily trust the fact that a lack of independence is going to deliver the sort of outcomes that our market needs to see. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination, Mr Speaker, that the people who will be in charge of the standards regime are going to be incompetent at all. In fact, they will probably be highly competent. But the fact that they are actually appointed by the Minister and come under the MB umbrella just sends the wrong signal. And when you're a Member of Parliament, what you have to do in areas where you don't have a level of competency is you have to take advice from people who do. And this is why the Select Committee process is so valuable, because we get a number of experts who come along and they voice their opinion and they say, this is what is wrong, this is what is right, and this is how to make legislation better. And the thing that concerns me is it appears that the Select Committee listened to a whole raft of experts that said independence is vital to maintain our international credibility and our international integrity, but the Select Committee did not do anything that put this into effect. And this is why I have really concerns about this, and it's why the Labor Party continues to have reservations about this bill in its current form. We already have a great reputation in terms of our global standards, but it did need updating. I don't think there was any debate about that, but we could have done it in a way that maintained our international credibility, because if we lose that, Mr Speaker, if we lose our international credibility and our integrity is slowly chipped away, then what we become is simply another small economy selling commodities into a shrinking global market. We begin to lose the value or the premium that our products currently get. And that is a really, really dangerous road that might be taken. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that this will, in effect, do that overnight. But all I am saying is that when we go out to global markets with our New Zealand brand, there are a whole lot of brand objectives or brand categories underneath that, attributes, that's the word I'm looking for, brand attributes underneath the big New Zealand clean, green, 100% pure brand that we take to the market. And one of those brands, Mr Speaker, is that we know what we're doing, we have independence, you can trust our products. If it has New Zealand on the can, if it has New Zealand on the packet, then it will be 100% right. Is that my 5 minutes up, Mr Speaker?
That's your 1 minute to go, Bill.
1 minute to go, Mr Speaker.
10 minute speech normally, you get a bell at 4.
The thing that concerns me is that we need that brand to maintain that brand integrity. And one of those brand attributes is the fact that we have world-class standards, that we benchmark ourselves, and that you can trust us, trust our brand. You erode that trust, and all it does is just takes the shine off the brand just a little bit. And I think this is what this piece of legislation does, Mr Speaker, by taking this within MB, by removing that perception of independence, I just don't think it is the way forward in the 21st century. This is why, Mr. Speaker, we oppose this bill, and this is why we have major reservations about this piece of legislation. Thank you very much.